everybody, Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk. Thank you very, very much for joining me, and this is what I'm going to be making today. This little china dish came with two others from the pound shop, so they were 3 for £1. And today I want to show you how I got the stamped image onto the bottom of the dish. Stay with me and I will show you how. To save us some time, I've gone ahead and stamped the little bird onto a little bit of ordinary tissue paper using my Memento Tuxedo black ink. And I've got my Stampin' blends, so at the moment I think I'm going to use Light Mango Melody, Light Daffodil Delight, Dark Crumb Cake and Dark Soft Suede. I don't know whether I'm going to use all of those. I may change my mind. So I'm going to start with the Light Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to go all over my little dicky bird. Okay, so I don't know what kind of bird this is. I'm not good at birds. It's just a yellow bird. There used to be a song about a yellow bird. About a yellow bird in a banana tree. Okay, so now this is the Light Mango Melody. And as you can see, as soon as it goes onto the tissue paper, it kind of goes right through. So whatever you can see on the front, this one you can see it on the back. Okay, so the crumb cake is next, and I'm just going to put that where the bits of shading are, and on his little leggies and his beak. And last of all, and I'm going to use the finer end of the dark soft suede, and that's just going to be in the very darkest places. Okay, so just a little bit down there to give him something to stand on. See these little images, they don't take very long to colour, and I'm not a great colourer innerer. I have to be honest, I'm not all that patient with it. And the other thing to remember on working on tissue paper is that it's not all that absorbent, so the colour does move around quite nicely. Okay, so I'm happy with my little yellow bird. Now, if I try to stick him straight onto the bottom of my little, can't think what it's called, little dish, that's the word. If I use my clear gesso, the Memento is water-based and it may run. I don't want that to happen, so I have some of my secret sauce. Now you can buy something very similar to this. Okay, it's called Microglaze, and it's sold by Ranger. But you can actually make your own. So all this is petroleum jelly and rubbing alcohol. All it is. Those two things. So this is about a teaspoonful of the petroleum jelly. You can use Vaseline, or you can use the stuff that you get at the pound shop. Works just as well. And all I'm doing is I'm rubbing it in to the paper, and I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to rub a little bit on the other side as well. So I'm going to waterproof it from both directions. Okay. And now I need paper towel or something like that, which I amazingly enough haven't got with me, and I managed to stick that down to the background paper just to wipe away the excess. Let's see what I've got lying around here. Give me a second. I have a tissue, and I'm just wiping off the excess. And I'm just going to give that some time for it all to set up. And be ready to use. That's had a few minutes for everything to set, and as you can see, I've trimmed it a little bit nearer to the outline of the bird. I've got some clear gesso here, and I'm just going to dab some, making sure I don't catch any stray bits of grit. So just a thin layer into the bottom of the dish. And I think tweezers will help me here. Excuse me while I catch hold of some. There we go. So I'm going to take my little birdie and I'm going to pop it into the base of the bowl. And I've got a little bit of wiggle time. Being careful with it because it is quite, you know, it's tissue paper after all. And when tissue paper's wet, it's not the strongest thing in the universe. Okay, and a little bit more of the clear gesso over the top just to seal it. Okay, and I'm going to give that a nice long time for everything to dry before I come back and look at it again. That's had overnight for the clear gesso to dry. I like using clear gesso, but you could have used some kind of multi-medium. You could have even used PVA adhesive. Any of those would have worked. But because I've used a clear gesso, it's a matte medium. And it's also, I know you can't feel it, but it's also quite textured. It's quite rough. That's one of the purposes that you use clear gesso for. It's to give something that's slippery a little bit of tooth so that you can paint on top of it. So what I have decanted into this bottle is some of this. This is the fine tip glue pen. This is a brand new one. Just want to show you that when you first get it, it's got that seal, so you need to poke a hole in that first before you try using it, because otherwise you will be spending a very long time with nothing very much happening. And the other thing about this fine tip glue is there's the point, but there is also, can you see it, a needle. Let me show you. It is a needle in the cap, and when you put the cap back on the bottle, you need to make sure that the needle goes in to the nozzle. Okay, so that's my tutorial on using the fine tip glue. I put some of it into a smaller bottle just so that it doesn't go hard, and I'm going to use that as a glaze over the top of my little birdie, because it will dry shiny. Okay, so I'm just going to take a few minutes off camera to make sure that I've covered all of my little bird and a little way around the side of him, and then that's going to have some time for the fine tip glue to set, and then we'll come back and have a look at the finished object. After I switched the camera off, I changed my mind a bit about just covering the bird, and I the fine tip adhesive into the bottom of the dish and just tilted the dish just kind of like that, so that the adhesive covered the entire bottom surface. And yeah, can you see how shiny that is? That's had 24 hours to dry, and it's now nice hard surface. This item is very definitely for decorative purposes only. I definitely wouldn't advise washing it, other than taking, you know, a damp cloth and just giving it a gentle wipe out. Certainly wouldn't put it in the dishwasher, and I wouldn't put food or anything directly in there. If you wanted to use this to serve little sweeties or something, I would put like a cupcake case or something inside, which would then cover up the bird, which would kind of spoil the whole idea. So this is for holding, you know, your little trinkets, maybe a change at the end of the day, and really this is more about the technique than anything else. But I'm very, very pleased with that. I'm very, very pleased with the way that the homemade glaze worked. I have another project that I've been using the same technique on. This I have made into a fridge magnet by gluing a magnet on the back, and in this case I used a matte medium to stick the little piece of tissue paper with my stamp flower on, and I just went over the top of it with the same medium, so this one has more of a matte surface. So those are my projects, and I do hope that you've enjoyed them. And if you give this a go yourself, why don't you pop on over to my Facebook page and show me a picture of what you've done, because I really, really would like to see it. But anyway, that's all for today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'd be thrilled if you came back and saw me again sometime soon. Bye bye.